the best way to describe this game between Inter Miami and FC Cincinnati was a team that had everything to play for versus a team that had nothing to play for. FC Cincinnati has already clinched the playoffs. They've already clinched the top seed in the East. They've already clinched the Supporter Shield, which means that if they make it all the way to the final, then their game will be played in FC Cincinnati's home stadium. Inter Miami, on the other hand, had everything to play for. Okay? They had a chance to play the postseason. And for the first time in 6 or 7 games, they were able to bring in Lionel Messi. Now, Lionel Messi came in the 53rd minute. Okay? And he did well, okay, but not well enough because in the end, FC Cincinnati pulled off a win in the 78th minute. Alvaro Barriel scores the goal. Calendar basically blocks the shot. I think it was taken by Acosta into Barriel's path, who puts it into the corner of the net, and ultimately FC Cincinnati held on. And look, the game was really a game of two halves, to be fair. In the first half, Alaves, Martinez, and Cramachi all hit the post, hit the crossbar of the post on opportunities to score. And Inter Miami really dominated the first half of the game, but they just did not have the quality to put the ball in the back of the net. In the second half, their chances were few and far between. I think Messi had 3 free kicks. All of them. Look, to be fair with Messi, as good a player as Messi is, and a great player as Messi is, it's one thing to come in off of like a month and a half layoff, and then train, and then come against Cruz Azul and score. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to come in off an injury. And coming off an injury was too much really to ask for him to do a whole lot in this game. So ultimately, Lionel Messi, look, he did well. He did what he could, but ultimately in the end, he couldn't do enough. He couldn't put him on his shoulders. He couldn't get the win. It is what it is. This wasn't Cruz Azul. This was FC Cincinnati. This was a team that you beat in the semifinal of the League's Cup on penalties. And look, for all intents and purposes, this was an interesting game, a fun game to watch, but ultimately, Inter Miami had put themselves in this position before Messi even got there. And by the time the business end of the season came in, where the push for the playoffs came in, they lost their best player. And it wasn't just Lionel Messi that they lost. They lost Jordi Alba. Look, Noah Allen on the left-hand side is a competent left back, but he does not have the football smarts that a Jordi Alba has. And that ultimately doomed Inter Miami in this game, because having a Jordi Alba who has the intelligence, the smarts, the one-touch ability to cross the ball, make the smart runs, that was a huge, huge miss for Inter Miami. Probably even bigger than losing Lionel Messi. Okay, losing Messi is a problem, yes, but losing Jordi Alba is an even bigger problem. Noah Allen is competent enough to play the position. Nobody's questioning that, but just not good enough to play the game the way it needs to be played. Now, look, Calendar did a great job making saves, okay, but ultimately, I believe there was a shot by Acosta. He put it right in Barriel's path, and Barriel puts the ball in the net. Ultimately, that's what doomed Inter Miami. Also, the fact that Montreal beat Portland 4-1, that meant that Inter Miami is no longer going to is no chance to make the postseason, which means Inter Miami has two games left before they have their next meaningful game, which is I think the start of next season. But realistically, Now, they're talking about Messi possibly going to Barcelona on loan. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure Barcelona wants that. I'm not sure Messi wants that. I'm not sure Inter Miami wants that. Now, I know that Massa said that he wants to give Messi a chance to say goodbye to FC Barcelona. I think he's talking about more like like a one-off game between Barcelona and Inter Miami more than that than loaning him out for the middle of the season. But we'll see how that all plays out. But in the end, look, Inter Miami was in last place. They were at 18 points. Messi comes in and he does his best, but the loss of him for 6 games, the loss of Alba for 6 games, that's what ultimately is going to be written on the epitaph of the Inter Miami season. I'm going to say this has been a somewhat a successful season. You make it to 2 finals, you win one. The other one, obviously, you didn't have Messi for. He's watching. It was against Houston. You lose 2-1 at home. Tough game to lose, but that's just how it all pans out. But you win the League's Cup. And that's silverware, and that's important for FC Cincinnati for Inter Miami to claim. They won the League's Cup, and we'll see how that pans out next year. You're going to have Messi all next year. You're probably going to have a chance to make the playoffs, probably win some more games, and we'll see how it plays out next year. But ultimately, in the end, Inter Miami loses 1-0 to FC Cincinnati, the Supporter Shield, the team that's probably favorite to win the MLS Cup this year. We'll see how that pans out in the playoffs. But ultimately, Inter Miami losing 1-0 to FC Cincinnati. Alvaro Barreal scores the goal. Pat Noonan's team moves on. Inter Miami has 2 more games left. One is against FC Charlotte. I don't know who the other one is against. But we'll see how that all pans out. And then we'll see what happens with Messi over the off season, and we'll see how that all plays out. But again, good game, enjoyable game to watch. Tough game to lose for Inter Miami, but hey, can't win them all, even if you have Lionel Messi. Please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.